surely have picked up 3 question points.
Very warm welcome to Orient Live here today. The O's are looking to pick up their away form this afternoon as we travel to Burton, Albion, and we're covering all the action for you here on Orient Live. I'm absolutely delighted to be joined here in the studio by journalist Richard Lewis and Orient ex-defender Joe Willison. Let's get it out of the way then, Richard. You know, the away games have not been great, home games have been good, but today's a big chance to try and turn that away form around.
I think it is. We forget that Orient have now lost 4 successive away league matches, going back to Reading. It was in September, almost October, which is one of their worst runs for almost 10 years. But Burton are only slightly above them in the table. So yeah, today is a day they need to win. And
last Saturday's game, Joe, was a real slog for 45 minutes against Blackpool. And man down, of course, Idris off injured, Baconton off injured. We're fighting against it a little bit.
Yeah, it seems like it. You know, obviously there's been a couple of injuries recently. We're getting to, you know, the kind of deep winter months, aren't we? When, you know, the squad is tested, I think, and, you know, Richie, I'm sure will need to call on, you know, everyone throughout the coming weeks and months. And it is, yeah, getting to that time where, you know, missing a few players here and there, and obviously last week was a really big effort. I think going a man down and the disappointment of conceding that late goal after, you know, such a good kind of solid and you know, battling performance. But it's another huge opportunity today, and you know, as we've said, the away form hasn't been great, and you know, I'm sure Richie will be trying to find the answers to you know, to try and pick things up away from home and you know, get that kind of confidence where, you know, which we've seen in the past where we've gone away from home and you know, almost at times expected to win, you know, when we've been doing well. And I think that starts with, like, you know, just a solid foundation and being really tight and difficult to beat and, you know, very solid defensively today. That'll be important.
Well, we'll take a look at the teams very shortly, but first, let's hear the pre-match thoughts of the assistant manager, Paul Terry.
Burton have had a solid start, 1 defeat in 6 for them. What can we expect from them?
Yeah, they're doing well. It's a hard place, Burton, tight little ground. You know, 2 centre forwards that they have. You know, get balls into the box with them. So, and they've got some good players in their team as well. You know, so it's going to be a tough game. You know, so we ain't under any illusions about that. But we're also in a good bit of form ourselves as well. You know, so it's about, let's concentrate on us. We worry about them, but it's more about what we can do and how we are.
What are we going to need to do well, do you think, to come out with a good result?
Defend the box well, defend crosses, you know, but also then impose ourselves on the game, be bright, be clever on the ball, passes through lines, you know, break their lines and just be very positive in everything we do. Play forward, you know, like the things we say week in, week out, the things we're looking from us. If we're intent and we're on it, we're a match for any team in this league.
And it's the start of a very, very busy week for us, isn't it? We've got Tuesday and Friday, so it'd be nice to start on a positive note.
Yeah, and just keep the run going, keep going what we've been building on. Like, we've been asking for performances, and if you've got the performance levels right, the results will start following. And I think we've seen that in the last few weeks that is happening now. So we'll concentrate on Saturday, then we worry about Tuesday night after that, and then we worry about Friday's FA Cup game after that. You know, we just, it's cliche, but we've got to take one game at a time. We ain't looking ahead. We ain't looking that far. You know, Burton's our main focus, and that's all we're concentrating on.
Let's take a look then and see how the O's line up this afternoon. Starting in goal for the O's is number 33, it's Killian Cahill. Across the back line, Jack Simpson comes in at left back, who replaces Teo Adaramola, who is of course suspended. Dan Happy and Omar Beckles, who wears the armband, are in the heart of defence, with Michael Craig in at right back. Azim Abdullahi replaces Idris El Mazouni, and Sean Clare is in the side as well. Aaron Conley plays out wide on the left with Ollie O'Neill on the right, with Charlie Wellings in that 10 role, with Don Ballard leading the line. Tommy Simpkins, Zach Obiero, Josh Cromer, Jalang Jaisimi, Jack Morehouse and Alfie Lloyd are on the bench, and so is, and what a beautiful sight that is, Theo Archibald returning to the squad for the first time in 20 months, I believe it is. I mean, let's start with Theo Archibald, Joe, because I mean, I know he's only on the bench, but it's just beautiful to see him back in.
Yeah, beautiful. Great description, Ollie. I think it is. It's such a, you know, so nice to see him back involved. You know, we've all spoke to him, haven't we, over the course of his, you know, his spell on the sidelines, and it's been such a long road for him. But, you know, just enormous credit to him because, you know, like for me personally, I know how tough it is coming back from a long-term injury. So it's really challenging, you know, just the the endless hours you put in of rehab, the time alone you spend, not even when you're, at the training ground, but when you're at home, you're eating right, your mind is constantly on your injury and trying to repair your body with that one sole objective to be back fit, and it's consuming, it takes over. So, you have to be completely and utterly dedicated to it, which, and he's obviously shown such commitment, such perseverance. Obviously he's had a couple of setbacks as well. So to be in a position where he's got himself, fit, firing and available to play, I think it's huge testament to him. And also, it's brilliant the way the club's looked after him and supported him. So yeah, just fantastic all round, and I'm sure we'd all love to see him get on today.
He's had some special moments in an Orient shirt, and actually, yes, he's been out for a while, but we know what he's capable of. He's raw. He's got match-winning moments in him. He's a weapon to have back into the squad, isn't he?
He really is, and as you say, it must be so difficult, and the delay of wanting to come back, and the eagerness to want to come back, and hopefully Richie will just let's hope he plays a part today. But yeah, it is great. It is great to see him back.
It certainly is.
I think the other thing as well with Theo is that obviously we know that how good he's been as a player, but I think as a character as well, he's the exact sort of player that you want coming back into a squad. We know how committed he is. He's a fighter. It means so much to him. He's passionate. He demands from himself, but also his teammates. So I think it'll be a real boost to the squad, and I'm sure Richie's delighted to have him back in the group.
It will be sensational when you see him first step out on that pitch in a competitive fixture. But let's look at the starting lineup then. Of course, Teo Adaramola out, suspended following that red card last week. Jack Simpson at left back, maybe not a conventional left back, but he's played games there before. It's a big back four we've got today.
It is. Obviously, it's such a strong central pairing, Dan and Omar, and I think they will work well to him. And I think you could probably slot in quite well there. But obviously, maybe it's not a regular position for him. But the key is today is just to let's hope. It'd be great to have a clean sheet. We're scoring so many goals, and this could be the start of something regular for him. But yeah, I think he'll slot in well because of who's alongside him. To be honest, the encouragement again. We
probably won't see him bombing on the overlap and getting too far forward. But when you look at our away form, conceded a lot to Wickham, conceded some maybe frustrating goals away to Cardiff and Reading. You look at this today, is Richie probably keeping an eye on keeping it tight and making sure we don't go and concede another 2, 3, 4 goals? Yeah,
well, I think his options are obviously limited, and I think Jack's an experienced player. He's got good quality. He's fairly mobile, like you said. We're playing away from home, so I'm sure first and foremost he's going to defend and he's going to be solid. But he's got a lovely left foot. I'm sure he'll be probably more of a server. Stay in his position and and defend and uses good technical ability in his passing range from that position. So yeah, unlikely to be bombing forward, but I don't necessarily think that's what will be needed from him today. We're away from home. We want to be tight at the back. We want to defend well, and I'm sure that'll be his job first and foremost today. We've
got it down as a back four, but I guess you look at it, you could perhaps see those three as three centre-backs, and you've got players in there who can play in the wing-back position, and that's not necessarily a defensive move, that's quite a attacking option to have.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see how they develop, absolutely. But I think the one key I'm looking for today is, and we've said this quite a few times this year, will this be the start of something? And when we beat Lincoln, we beat Doncaster, we thought, right, this is it, we're going to kick on from here. How many more times can we say that this season? I think if we can end this way run, even whatever the formation ends up being, even if it is 3 at the back, the fact is, if we can end this, even a 0-0 draw, I would say, yes, end the league run, at the bad run, and this could be the start. And of course, it wasn't far off this time last year, that of course, everything started going so well. But that's why I think today is so important. I think we're all expecting it, aren't we, at some point, because we've seen it happen before. Yes. We've seen it last year. I think even the previous season, we tend to see like Richie's team go on little surges where suddenly everything clicks, everyone looks like they know their role, and everything's just like kind of in sync and functioning really smoothly, and players like adapt to what he wants, and you see good understanding and relationships built across the pitch. So I think we've seen signs, haven't we, all season long. So it's just, we're all kind of waiting to think, when is it going to be the week that, things kind of click, and then we just see some sort of consistency, really.
What with the injuries to Idris El-Mazouni and Tariq Bakinson, then we've got Azim Abdullah starting. Let's call it that 8 position, which we haven't seen much from him. He obviously had an electric start to Leyton Orient shirt, but he's played up top, he's played out wide. We've never really seen him have a run of games in that central midfield position where I think a lot of people maybe expected him to play when we signed him. It's a real opportunity for him today to show Richie why he should be deserving of that starting role in the midfield.
Oh, exactly. He can make it his. And if he does that and it works well, he really can. But yeah, it is an important afternoon for him. Because as we say, if we get it going, then we get some solidity, this could be the start of something, and it's a great chance for him to just make that position his.
He's going to have to work very hard though. We've seen him obviously scoring that hat-trick. He maybe sometimes looks like almost a flairish player, but he's in a two-man midfield today with Sean Clare in there, and he's going to have to run, he's going to have to get about, and he's going to have to put a foot in.
Yeah, and I think he's an interesting player because we've seen him in different positions. Obviously, we know that he can score, and he can get goals in the attacking end of the pitch. We also saw him at right back as well the other week, where I thought he came on and he looked quite good. He looked like he quite enjoyed it in that position. So it'll be an interesting role for him today. I think he's a player who, he's shown like little flashes, hasn't he? But we've not seen anything consistent from him. I don't know if you can say what you reckon his best position is, Ollie, because I can't. But he is a player that it's almost like there's more in there. I'm sure Richie's been trying to find the right time and maybe the right position to try and get it out of him. But today's a huge chance for him. He will have to be disciplined. I'm sure he's not naturally a defensive-minded player, but he will have to be winning second balls, tracking his runners. I'm sure Sean Clare will be speaking to him throughout the game and obviously trying to guide him in that role because it will be fairly new to him. But he's a player with good ability on the ball. He can make things happen, and he's got good energy. He gets about the pitch well, isn't he? He's a good size, good physique, so it could suit him in there. We'll wait and see.
And you had Charlie Wellens in there as well. We've got him maybe in that 10 role, but on the road, he'll probably be dropping maybe a bit deeper, working in there in that midfield three. Yeah,
he may well be, and I think he'll want to make up for that chance last week when he could have made it 2-0. I think it's a big afternoon for him. But you mentioned Sean Clare. I must admit, he has been my favourite player of the season so far. I know obviously Aaron and Don scored goals, but the times seen them, he's been really encouraging. And as you say, that could be really important today for him. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to seeing him again because I think he's growing as a player, and I think it hasn't been a consistent season for Orient, but I think throughout he has been perhaps the most consistent player outside of the goal scorers.
I wouldn't be surprised as well, just on that, to see maybe Charlie being the one to just drop slightly deeper, because I think he maybe, could be wrong, but maybe has that more natural discipline to play as a central midfielder and do the ugly side of the game without the ball that's necessary in there, and maybe release Azim to be a bit more kind of in that number 10 role. So we'll see, but I think there's definitely the flexibility amongst the three of them to kind of rotate in there, and I think the balance should be quite good.
And then when it comes to the goal scorers, and you touched on it, Richard, but Aaron Connolly, Don Ballard and Ollie O'Neill, that's a frightening front three.
It is. That combination, and there's no question that Gary Bayer and Burton would have been watching their goals last week and the hat-trick and things like that. Yeah, absolutely, they really are. And as we know, they've, is it third or fourth top scorers in the division, even if we're not right at the top. When they combine, and that is almost the frustrating thing, that when we do combine and it works, we are one of the best. I think we all have to think we're the best side of the division, but I think we are one of the best sides of the division, and that development is carrying on. And yeah, they've got to be aware of them today.
We've got to make it click defensively, though. Really, we haven't talked about Michael Craig. He's probably gone under the radar a little bit in terms of he's had injuries, but he's finding his way in the side, and he's actually one that I said maybe going under the radar. He's got that ability.
Yeah, he has. I think he's really tidy technically. Very comfortable on the ball. Reminds me quite a bit of Tom James in certain ways, actually, the way he naturally wants to come inside and you sort of play that inverted fullback role, get on the ball in deep areas in midfield. He's got a nice range of passing, and he's a good player. I don't think I've seen him really be struggle defensively in 1v1 situations. He's sort of like been a 7 out of 10 really in everything. I think there's definitely more to come from him. He's still young, still in the early stage of his career, and it's good to see him getting games. Obviously he's had a few injuries, but it'd be nice to see him have a good run in the team. Obviously build his confidence and show what a good player he is.
We're going to see some of his highlights in an Orient shirt. He's maybe obviously we've been spoiled in maybe recent years of some of the players we've had playing at right back, Tom James, Ethan Galbraith. He maybe doesn't have that side, but he certainly looks like he could grow into it.
Yeah, he really does. He really does, and you know, scoring there and key role that was the Lincoln game, wasn't it? That was a great goal. And look, the combination is there, and here comes another one. But yeah, you know, it's a situation that if Orient can just get it right, a good chance today, just to, as I said, with a couple of others, just secure that role and move forward.
Defensively strong as well. He just gets so stuck in, doesn't he, Joey?
Yeah, he's nice and tenacious, which I love to see in a fullback. Enjoys his defending. Do you know what I mean? He does not one of these players that just wants to, look pretty on the ball and go forward. He actually, enjoys the battle. You can tell in his 1v1 duels. And yeah, as I said, I've not seen anyone really give him a tough time defensively. He does seem pretty solid, which is obviously his job first and foremost. But he does bring that. He brings that composure, that range of passing, and that willingness to drive forward as well, which is an added bonus.
Just under 15 minutes to go until we kick off up in Burton. And of course, don't forget, if you're watching live on our YouTube stream, then you can follow along with all the action here on Orient Live, no matter where you're watching from. UK fans, you can pick up an audio pass to listen along to the match commentary, and international fans can pick up a streaming pass for just £10 over on the Orient website. So head over there and get involved and make sure you follow along with all the action this afternoon. But now, let's hear from the man who we were just discussing. It's Michael Craig.
I've enjoyed it a lot. Obviously, it's been a little bit frustrating for me to begin this season with some of the injuries I've had. But hopefully now I feel like I'm getting back into the rhythm of things and starting to feel very comfortable within the team. Obviously, I got quite a bit of time to get to know the players outside of like the pitch and like when we're around the training ground and stuff. And yeah, just great bunch of lads and made me really feel welcome here. Very competitive bunch of guys, I'd say. Ultimately, just everyone's really rooting for each other to do well and pushing each other to get the most out of everyone here. I think as a team, we can take a lot of positives from the game on Saturday. Obviously, really disappointing to concede the goal at the end, but definitely some things we did really well throughout the game that we can hopefully take forwards into the next couple of weeks, where we've got a lot of fixtures, a lot of chance to improve our position within the table that we feel we're capable of doing. It feels as though we are making progress. There's going to be some disappointing moments along the way and some performances where we feel like we can do better, but definitely over the last couple of weeks, as a team, we're getting closer to where we need to be to put in performances and then get the results that we need to move further up. Still feel like there's plenty more to come from me. Struggled a little bit with injuries to start the season, and I had a bigger injury to end last season, so even though I'd love to hit the ground running, there is a little bit of a build-up that I felt like I needed. But definitely, I think last couple of weeks I've started to get a little bit closer to where I feel like I can be, and I definitely feel like there's still plenty of improvement for myself to see the best of what I can do. Whenever you play against Burton, you know what the game's going to be like. It's going to be a tough game, and you've got to be ready for that challenge. But like I said, last couple of weeks, definitely feel that we've started putting in slightly better performances, and Saturday's another chance to build on that and hopefully get a good result.
You have a choice. You can waste 20, maybe 30% of your media budget, spend millions reaching bots, the wrong people, or no one at all. Or just use 0 to 1. It knows who's ready to buy. It's over 85% accurate. Zero wasted spend. The future of marketing isn't guessing. It's knowing.
Is lunch at work awesome? If so, tune out now. If not, keep listening. Picture this: chef-made meals from local restaurants brought right into your workplace. No sad sandwiches, no tired menus. By tapping into the local restaurant scene, Fuda powers workplace dining for companies across the U.S., giving teams flavor, convenience, and authenticity. Half of Glassdoor's best places to work have partnered with Fuda. Is your team ready to upgrade its workplace food scene? Find out how at Fuda.com. That's FOODA.com.
Right, then earlier this week, the club announced an exciting new membership scheme for all Orient fans. Let's find out a little bit more about it now.
We are forever red and white.
It's in our very soul.
And passed down through generations.
Fathers and sons.
Grands, mums and daughters.
From Brisbane Road's terraces.
From all corners of the globe.
We've travelled endless roads.
And cheered countless hours online.
The passion of the Orient unites us.
We've lived every triumph and heartbreak.
As a family, a club and a community.
Up the O's!
We are Johnston, Charlton and Allen.
Cunningham, Lockwood and Cox.
We are Kitchen, Mayo and Rhoda.
We are Beccles, Connolly and Mackinac.
And Justin and Nigel's Dream.
You better have Howard on there as well somewhere.
Johnston's Heroics.
Donnelly's goal against Man City.
Cooper's volley in '89. McDonald's winner against United.
Great moments etched in time.
And yes, we've faced some tough times.
Playoff heartbreak.
Threats to our very existence.
Yet our spirit never faltered.
Our loyalty unmatched.
Forever Orient is a new way to support our club.
To create a legacy of success.
Whether that be in strengthening the first team,
the academy,
or sports science,
or spread across all three.
The choice is yours.
To become the pride of East London.
I am Forever Orient.
We are Forever Orient.
I am Forever Orient.
We are Forever Orient.
I'm Forever Orient.
I'm Forever Orient.
I am Forever Orient.
We are Forever Orient.
We are Forever Orient.
We are Forever Orient.
We are Forever Orient.
I am Forever Orient.
I am Forever Orient.
After 66 years, I am Forever Orient.
Up the O's!
Be the difference.
Be the difference.
Be the difference.
Forever Orient allows fans to directly contribute to the club's future successes, and a number of options are available to suit every fan's need. And what's more, if you sign up this weekend, you'll get your second month for free, as well as Forever Orient, we also have a number of retail offers on this weekend with some big discounts available on selected products up until midnight on Sunday. And there's £5 off the price of your basket for every £50 spent, an additional £1 for every £10 spent as well. So head online to start shopping now. But let's turn our attention back to the football then. And Burton, we've touched on them, a good manager around us in the table, but this is such a weird league table that it feels like the positions don't even really matter.
Absolutely, and they will definitely be chomping at the bit today because their match against Exeter last week was called off. I think there was a fire at Exeter. I don't know whether they're actually down there. Had to come all the way back without a game. I think it was called off quite late, so they've gone a long time without a match. And then Jake Beasley scored 5 goals. He was at Salford. I think he left just before Richie joined Salford, and they're consistent, and they're not, they're again, just above us. So hard team to break down.
Let's take a run through the starting lineup for the Brewers. Starting in goal is Bradley Collins. So back through them with the captain Aduka Godwin-Malif, alongside Toby Sibic and Alex Hartridge. Across the midfield they have Kyron Lofthouse, Kagalo Chuk, George Evans, Dylan Williams and Jack Armour, with Jake Beasley and Tyrese Shade up top. And on the bench for Gary Bayou's men is Camille Dudek, Terence Van Kooten, Josh Taroni, Jasper Moon, Nicholas Okoto, Fabio Tavares and Julian Larson. Now, an interesting one, as Richard has touched on, Joe, but let's talk about it looking at it on paper then. It's a side that you go, with our attack, we should be going out and sticking it on them and taking the game to them and
look, I think we've got some good attacking options, but you've got to remember it's an away game. According to the league table, we're very similar to Burton so far. So I think it should be quite an intriguing battle. As Richie always says, when you're away from home, especially, you have to stay situated. You have to, make sure you're defending well from set pieces and not kind of giving the opposition, any kind of chance to create easy opportunities against you. So I think, first and foremost, we have to defend well. We have to make sure we're solid, to make sure we're organised, I'm sure we'll look to try and dominate the ball as always, but it's important that we're switched on when we lose possession on the turnovers. So look, I think we've definitely got good players in offensive players who can go and cause problems, but I'm sure the message today will be to kind of ease our way into the game. Look, don't give Burton any easy opportunities, and try and build from there. And look, we've got the players that can go and hurt them.
We do, and they've got a defence that we'll see here, Richard, that is capable of conceding a goal or two. So hopefully, with our attackers on form, we can exploit some of their weaknesses.
Well, that's it. Yeah, because obviously with Aaron and Don Ballard, the pace Aaron's got, as we're going to see here, there's certainly a great opportunity, and it's interesting. And none of the people go by stats or anything, but Roy and I were chatting earlier about the fact that we've never beaten Burton. Played them 4 times, and I was having to think. I wonder how many teams in the Football League already haven't beaten. So that's another one we could tick off today. But yeah, there's definitely a chance to exploit a side that are good, but Orient are certainly up front. Certainly got the power and have scored so many goals this season that when the chances come, I think they take them. It could be a good afternoon, but we've said that a few times this year.
What do you make of some of this defending, Joey? That's a finish.
That was a great finish. But I mean, look, they're a team that they do concede goals. I think the main difference is they lack the firepower that Orient have. And scoring goals hasn't really been much of a problem season. It's just been conceding. I think if we can really try and tighten things up at the back, as I said, we've got the players that can go and get goals and cause problems at the other end of the pitch. But it's just about trying to, obviously, make sure we're good in both boxes. That'll be the key. And it'll be interesting to see that we've got a couple of players missing today. It'll be interesting to see how we cope without the likes of Idris El Mazouni in there. That midfield battle, I think, will be important. But I'm confident that we can go and get a result today.
Well, the teams have made their way out onto the pitch up in Burton. It's a really big opportunity, and hopefully the O's can go out there and turn those away troubles around. But now we've got Dave Victor and Matt Hiscock in the commentary box, ready to tell us all about this one. Over to you, gentlemen.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Pirelli Stadium, where Leyton Orient are looking to create a little bit of history. The 5th meeting between these two sides, and Leyton Orient have yet to win. 2 draws, 2 defeats, and some notable absentees, particularly in midfield. Idris El Mazouni out with what we understand is a hamstring injury, and it's a concussion for Bakinson. They'll be missed, won't they, Matt?
Yeah, they certainly will be. I mean, to be honest with you, Dave, was Idris El Mazouni playing the best football of his career? I'm not sure. I think there was a lot more to come from Idris this season, but it is a blow because you look at that centre midfield position, he would be the starter, the first name amongst that crop of Clare, Backinson, Morehouse, himself, of course, but he's missing this afternoon, and I suspect he's going to be missing for the coming weeks. Let's hope it's weeks and not months.
The game is going to start after literally a minute's applause, and this is to remember 2
highly talented midfielder who progressed from the club's youth team to the first team during the 1990s, making numerous appearances in our days in the Southern League before enjoying spells with a number of other local teams. John Newman
the players
was our former assistant manager under John Barton between 1994 and 1998, and sadly passed away earlier this week at the age of 91. Our thoughts and condolences go to the families of both Michael and John. We now ask you to join us in a minute's applause, which will start and end on the referee's whistle.
Well, Matt, we were talking about the absentees for the O's. Charlie Webster's a notable absentee for the Brewers.
Yes, he absolutely...